Welcome to Urza's YouTube channel today. We're diving into something incredibly important, yet often overlooked: clinical trials. If you've ever wondered how the life-saving medicines and treatments we rely on every day come to be, then this video is for you. Clinical trials are the backbone of medical research. They are the reason why we have safe, effective drugs and treatments for countless diseases, from cancer to diabetes, and even vaccines like those developed for COVID-19. Without clinical trials, modern medicine simply wouldn't exist as we know it. So in today's video, we'll be exploring what clinical trials are, how they work, why they are so crucial, and the impact they have on healthcare. We'll also dive into the different phases of clinical trials, ethical considerations, and some real-world examples of trials that have changed the face of medicine. So whether you're curious about the science behind your prescriptions or considering participating in a clinical trial yourself, stick with us as we break it all down. Let's get started. What are clinical trials? Clinical trials are research studies performed on human volunteers to evaluate new medical interventions, such as drugs, treatments, or devices in terms of their safety, effectiveness, and potential side effects. They are designed to answer critical questions like, does the treatment work, is it safe, and how does it compare to existing treatments? Clinical trials provide a scientific method for testing hypotheses generated in laboratory and preclinical studies, ultimately enabling new treatments to make their way into the hands of doctors and patients. To put it simply, clinical trials are the final step before a new drug or therapy becomes available to the public. They are the most reliable way to determine whether a new treatment works and whether it's safe. Without these trials, the medicines we take would remain untested, and we'd have no way of knowing whether they would help or harm us. Why are clinical trials important? Clinical trials serve several crucial purposes. They ensure safety and effectiveness. Before any new drug or treatment can be used, it must go through clinical trials to make sure it is safe for people and that it works as intended. This process helps protect patients from harmful side effects and ensures that treatments are beneficial. They contribute to medical progress. Clinical trials are the reason we have effective treatments for diseases that were once untreatable, breakthroughs in cancer treatment, HIV, AIDS, heart disease, and many other conditions have come as a direct result of clinical trials. They push medicine forward, opening up new possibilities for curing or managing diseases. They lead to better patient outcomes. By testing new treatments in clinical trials, researchers can discover ways to improve patient care, reduce treatment side effects, and increase the quality of life for people living with chronic or life-threatening conditions. Let's take a real-world example: vaccines. Vaccines are some of the most powerful tools in public health, and they are only possible because of clinical trials. Think about the COVID-19 vaccines. The world was able to develop, test, and distribute vaccines in record time due to well-designed clinical trials. Without these trials, we wouldn't have been able to fight back against the virus as quickly or effectively as we did. History of clinical trials. The idea of testing treatments on humans isn't new. In fact, the concept of clinical trials can be traced back centuries. One of the earliest known clinical trials took place in 1747, when Scottish physician James Lind conducted a study on sailors suffering from scurvy. Lind tested different treatments and found that sailors who consumed citrus fruits, like lemons and oranges, recovered faster than those who did not. This discovery was a pivotal moment in medical history and laid the groundwork for modern clinical trials. However, the clinical trials we recognize today, rigorously controlled, scientifically designed studies, didn't emerge until much later. The 20th century saw the development of randomized controlled trials, RCTs, which are now considered the gold standard in clinical research. RCTs randomly assign participants to different treatment groups, such as one receiving the experimental treatment and another receiving a placebo or standard care. This method ensures that the results are unbiased and reliable. Phases of clinical trials: Phase 1, safety first, Phase 2, 3, Phase 3, the large-scale test, 4, Phase 4, post-market monitoring. For more such information, kindly subscribe Urza's YouTube channel.